Solar cycles and sunspots. Very complicated kind of subject topic here. So I'll do the best I can, unedited and unscripted. So you basically have to understand a couple things first. That the sun and the earth are under a constant state of quantum entanglement, otherwise known as a constant electromagnetic connection between the two. Now, it's much more easy to focus on explaining the earth than it is the sun, but understand this is that the sun also has pockets of energy and these charged masses and stuff like that, which is where we see the vortexes and sunspots, which are essentially a vortex. So those are connected to the earth, and as we change the earth, we take from the upper layers of the core, and then below that other mass that's highly conductive comes up too, and so that those are connected. And when that cycle happens, so the cycle is dependent on our oil consumption, even though there is a natural cycle. But you could look at it like this with the sun. Those pockets of mass build up over time, over the age of the solar system. They build up over time, and every once in a while they level out, they splat, because the bubble itself, or the globular cluster of mass in there, just loses its cohesion and spreads out. And that happens in either case, whether you're adding mass to it or taking mass away. And you have to understand then that because of this quantum entanglement or these electromagnetic connections is actually how the sun works. The sun pulls mass from the Earth's upper atmosphere, and that mass powers the sun and fuels the sun. And when it has a lot of mass, it stores a little bit of that mass over time. But we've shrunken our electromagnetosphere due to our oil consumption. We've shrunken our electromagnetosphere. So because of that, we have less oxygen and less gases in the upper atmosphere, and our connection to the sun has also gotten weaker. So there's less mass going to the sun. So because of that, it's getting less, and we're consuming from below. And so, but the mass that I'm talking about on the sun is a bubble that's magnetically conductive, and it's conducted to the earth, so that mass is actually held there by our mass. So as our mass gets less, that mass kind of lets go and releases. And so the way it flows kind of up and down, like to the north and south, is going to be based on what's coming up underneath and what's leveling it out from our planet. But like I said, it's easier to explain it from the Earth's perspective. So even though we're only taking oil from the upper levels, as we do that, the mass from below kind of comes up and it's released because there's a higher pressure down there. So every once in a while, when we weaken the layers from the top, the pressure from down below blows up, and you see that mimicked. It's a quantum reflection essentially on the star itself. So that is what's fueling this. You could argue that their 11-year cycle has somewhat to do with maybe planetary alignments and other things in the galaxy and stuff like that, which is a fair assumption, because those things are also going to trigger these clusters when it's like a peak magnetic time or whatever. So that has an effect, but it's relatively minor compared to the releasing or storage of that highly charged energy that I'm talking about, which I've referenced as element A previously. So I hope that helps a little bit. I'll come back and revisit this later, but just wanted to get a start on it, okay? And right now, by the way, when I look at the sun, I don't see it as there's no sunspots going on there. I see actually lots. It's just that they're maybe not as powerful as they used to be in the past, but they're still there. You still see all these little bright areas where they're conducting, and it's just that's mimicked too on our planet, where you see a whole bunch of these little vortexes and storms and stuff that are broken down. And that's like the same time like with hurricane season that we're just going through. It's at a time where our planet's shifting, and that mass inside the planet's shifting too, so it builds up around certain spots, creating a stronger weather cycle. So no matter how you spin it, it all comes down to what we're doing to our core. And the only way to stop climate change is to stop pumping oil. And hopefully we can do that, and then over time it'll replenish itself. But we can also help it replenish itself. But for now, we just need to focus on stopping the damage before it's too late. Because eventually the electromagnetosphere, which is responsible for our atmosphere, will get so low that the sun will start burning plant life and stuff like that. And then once we're at that point, that's really the point of no return. And we're getting really close to that. So we got to act quick, and we got to get all the scientists and governments and everybody all on the same page. So give us a fighting chance. So thanks, guys, and have a good day.